Hey, good morning, everybody. How's it going? Got another little build video for you updating here for the Arcanist. This is a one bar Arcanist build, just making it a little bit more simpler for people. You know what, have problems, switching between two bars and whatever else, right? So this one does very good damage. Very, very good damage indeed. So should we jump into it? I think we should. Let's go ahead and jump in. So as you can see, I'm a Khajiit, obviously. Most of my characters are Khajiit now, as I just prefer being a Khajiit over any other race. So I'm deciding to switch more to Khajiit. Um, we've got 64 into stamina. We are a stamina-based Arcanist. That still being said, we are still using abilities what do cost magic. Um, but in terms of our attribute stats, we got 16,328 magicka. We got 24,512 health. I've got 24,548 stamina, and we got 1,650 stam recovery with a 1,519 mag recovery with 506 health recovery. So overall, it's pretty solid. I am a vampire. It is not needed for this class and for this build. I am just a vampire, so I can bite people once a week if they need it. That is literally the reason why. Besides, I do a bit of PvP from time to time, so I stay vampire just for the 15% reducement of cost of damage at stage 3. So that's my reasoning why I'm a vampire. That's entirely up to you if you want to be a vampire, if you want to be a werewolf. You know, um, either or doesn't need to be a part of the build. So yeah. In terms of my weapon damage, we are at 5k across the board. In terms of my resistances, our resistances are a little bit low, but they do go up when we use our healing contingency. As you can see, we are now at 20,000 spell resistance and 19 and a half physical resistance, which is more than enough for PvE, which is lovely. In terms of our Munderstone, we do take the Thief. What the Thief does is it just gives us more critical, um, more weapon and spell critical. So that's just nice to have. Super handy. In terms of the sets, gear ratio, I'm in 1 light and then I'm in 6 medium. Um, the reason why there is no heavy in this build is because of the way that you're building. And sadly, unless you're running a heavy set to get that one piece on the body as heavy, um, you're just not going to be able to do it. That being said, it's not the end of the world. I'm still getting more than enough benefits from this. Our penetration is at just under 6k here, which isn't bad for a 1 bar build. It's pretty decent actually, to be fair. So yeah, in terms of our gear, we are in one piece slime crawl. This just gives me a critical chance. Um, you know, it's nice. It's just extra critical chance, really. What that in turn is actually going to do is just going to make our beam hit a little bit harder. There's a chance of our flails hitting more critical damage, chance of elemental sectability hitting more harder. Like everything, what we do damage with, it just gives that extra bit of chance to proc crit hit. Really. Um, in terms of our other 5 piece set, we are running Macabre. So Macabre is a very good set. This can swap out, and the other set what I would highly recommend would be Deadly Strike. Deadly Strike you can find in Cyrodiil, in the town of Bruma. If you don't do PvP, you can also buy it from the Guild Trader. So super easy to acquire, not too hard to get. Macabre is also a open world set, what you can go and farm from Westfield. So once again, another very easy to acquire set, which is really nice, and just super easy for people to get. Our next set, which is our bread and butter, this is Briarheart. So Briarheart is actually a very good set for us in this sort of situation because one, it's giving us extra spell and weapon damage, which is increasing our beam, it's increasing our flail, it's increasing all of our DOT and damage just in general. But one thing the Arcanist does lack a little bit is how healing kind of works with the Arcanist. So there's no real like burst heal with an Arcanist, and I've said this quite lot of the times. Like, yeah, sure, you can stack up the Crux and then sink a shield, and that is the burst heal for the Arcanist in theory, but it just lacks. Um, and in terms of a one bar build, you don't really want a one bar build. You don't want to be able to, waste all your cruxes on a shield just to heal yourself, right? Because you want to be doing beams and you want to be doing damage. So this set actually just allows us to do that because every time that we hit critical strikes, we heal for a percentage, which is 215 health every 15 seconds this occurs. So as we're beaming, we're actually getting really big chunks of heals back into us because the beam is duration time. How long's beam? Beam is for what, like 4 seconds? Yeah, so we're getting 4 seconds worth of healing. But everything else, like our elemental susceptibility, is giving us heals. This is giving us extra heals. This is giving us extra heals. Like everything what we put out gives us extra heals, right? So like it really does add to the flavor and it just helps along the way. Obviously, we're running the One Piece Oaken Saw. Is a must for a one bar. In terms of traits, I am in one, two, three, four, five, six, seven divines. We went divines across the board. And then for my jury, I'm in two infused and one bloodthirsty. The reason why I went with one bloodthirsty is just for the execute damage, really. It just helps with the execute stages just a little bit. I didn't really want to go three bloodthirsty because I wanted to just overall boost up my damage a little bit higher. So I ended up going with infused instead. And it just seemed to work out. It was just nice. It seems to work out, and it was good. In terms of my lightning staff, we are precise for that extra critical spell rating, and then we got flame enchant on that bad boy. In terms of my gear, we are tri-stat across the board. In terms of the jury, I take the weapon and spell damage, and then I have the one with the mag recovery across the board. In terms of my blue tree, I'm running Fight and Finesse. Fight and Finesse is actually helping us a lot. Like I say, we're already getting 12% from being a Khajiit. Okay, so we get 12% critical hit and critical healing for the damage. Okay, and then Fight and Finesse is taking that to 20%. Okay, so we're automatically getting 20% now. And then I say Bite and Aura. What this is doing is increasing my damage done with area effects. So my beam is getting increased damage because of Bite and Aura. My flail is getting increased damage from Bite and Aura. And then my ultimate is also getting it, right? So that's super nice. Plus this, the damage, what comes from this, um, technically does scale off of this too. So that's kind of nice as well. Deadly aim. Obviously, deadly aim. Beam is single target as well as AoE. So that will come into that. And then elemental susceptibility goes into deadly aim too. So that's super nice as well. So does recuperative treaties, which is kind of nice. Thermitage, that's just DOT damage. Obviously, beam is a DOT. This is a DOT, and my ultimate's a DOT. And I'm pretty sure that's probably all the DOTs actually. Just them three. So the pragmatic fake carver, elemental susceptibility, and Tides King Gaze is your DOTs. So that goes into that. That's kind of nice. Red Tree, we got Survival Instincts. This is just 25% flat reduced cost of production of skills. Super handy, super nice to use. Rejuvenation, just overall recovery. It's just nice to have. And then I take Bastion. The reason why that was on there is because I was rocking it on another build. That actually has to come off because I don't need it. So we can get rid of that actually. And instead, we could go with a bit of armor, I guess, or I could do sustain by suffering. I think I'm gonna go with armor. I'll go with armor, because then that'll put our resistances up. You can't complain at that, can you? 21k resistances now, so I would do that. Yeah, I was rocking that on another build. My archive build, in fact, which is in my YouTube. You can go and check out yourself. But yeah, this is better. So yeah, we'll run that. Run fortified for the extra resistances. It's just nice to have. And then celerity. Celerity is just extra 10% movement speed. It's just super nice to have. It's easier to get around in fights. You're not running as much because you're moving quicker. It's just a little bit better to be more situated in fights and whatnot, you know. Green tree. Liquid efficiency. It's not really needed. I just run it just because why not? You know, it is what it is. Oh my god, this is actually terrible because this needs to change as well. I apologize, guys. I thought I had all this done. All right. Let's put homemaker here. I'm gonna get rid of liquid efficiency, and then we'll put in treasure. So green tree doesn't really change in PvE for me anyway. At least, I always take Steve's blessing. It's a must for me. 20% movement speed while I'm not in combat. It's just super nice to have. I always take rationer, regardless to it if it's PvP or PvE. It's just nice to keep my food buffs longer, so I'm not eating so much food. Obviously, PvE, homemaker is a must. You're going around doing trials, dungeons, whatever. You see any closets, you know, wardrobes, nightstands, anything like that, you have that 10% chance to get a plan to drop. And then you have that 10% chance to get that extra secondary plan. So, you know, when new content comes out and stuff, really, really nice to have, you know, chances of getting a nice furnishing plan what's worth a couple of mil or something, you know? So it's super nice to have. And then treasure hunter, just for the treasure chest, really, just to get better items, better quality items from treasure chests. It's just nice. It's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, that is pretty much the build. In terms of my healing contingency, I do take the skills I take on Ulswith's contingency is the healing, the Sage's remedy, and then I take resolve. That is the three that we take to create this healing contingency. But as you can see, we're going to do a little pass for you here real quick. And I'm going to get into it and show you what this is capable of. As you can see, we're doing 70k. Very, very easy to use. As you can see, I'm getting lovely little healing ticks. Coming back into us. So we're doing about 50, I want to say about 55k damage, give or take, while we don't have our ultimate up. around like, well, it's above 50 anyway, which is good for one bar. I can't complain at that. You know what I'm saying? Like I generally cannot complain at the damage what we could put out with this as a one bar. That also being said, if we are in dungeons uh and there's multiple enemies, they're all just gonna go, do you know what I mean? And they're just gonna get hit with tons and tons of bleed damage. Um, that also being said, like I say, if you're going for more of like a boss situated fight, I would actually say drop out Macabre for Deadly. Um, that is exactly what I would do. Um, as you can see, we just dropped it for Deadly. I'm gonna do another pass here real quick. Just another alt dump really. Just so you get the adjust of how this operates. So you can see we're pushing nearly 80k, right? With an alt. So with deadly, you will probably hit a little bit harder, but take into consideration and take into note that you are going to do a lot more damage in AoE situations with Macabre. Okay, um, that is the build. That is the two-piece sets. In terms of the traits, they do not change. They're both infused, same glyphs, whatever. But they are the two sets that I switch in between on my one bar Arcanist. I've completed veteran Vatshram with this build. I've done veteran uh Maelstrom with this build. You know, like I've done a lot with this build. This build is very strong, very fun to play, and I hope that you all enjoy. I'll catch you all next time. Have fun. Take care. Let me know down in the comments down below if you do decide to build it. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Peace.